Yo, how's it going, everybody? Trade recap. Back with it. Um, I took one loss and one win. It was a pretty long trading day for me. I was like around about 3 hours on the market already. I mean, I didn't hop off early on the market because I did tweak my back yesterday at the gym, so I'm taking a little bit of rest. But besides that, I was just studying the market, learning what I wanted to do, and again, my confluences for longs was just very, very strong. Um, very strong. As we had these. This was yesterday. We had these gaps that we just been respecting lately, and especially on the 1 hour. Uh, we had. What do we have? Yeah, we had this 4 hour inversion that we ended up inversing, coming back down, tapping into this 4 hour gap, but also tapping into this inverse. So I was waiting for that to happen. As you can see here, um, let me go 4 hour. I was just straight looking for longs, and my first entry. I also did take a trade last night on Asia session. I was up around like $1,100. But I guess one of my problems when it comes to taking profits is I just let it run. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm greedy. I guess I just I just want to see if my full drawn liquidity gets hit, if that makes sense. But I need to focus on what the market is actually showing me. So if there's like a pool of liquidity causing price to come down lower, why not get out? You know what I mean? So I guess that's what I'm start doing, and that's what I did today on the trade that I ended up taking. And yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta know when to get out, when it's safe to get out and take partials. So that's what I'm gonna focus on. Yesterday, I took a trade on NQ instead of MNQ because just the price points. You know how Asia's choppy. There's low points, so I just wanted to get a good amount of point. I didn't want to put like 20 contracts in, and do that. You know what I mean? So I just put on two contracts on NQ, and I was up around 1,100. Pretty good confluence trade. Strong bullish bias, but I ended up getting down break even as there was a pool of liquidity causing price to come back lower. I kind of forgot where that trade was, but yeah, man. I mean, going into this trade, I saw we had this inversion, came back, tapped is exactly what I wanted to see, but I guess my entry just wasn't right. I stay mostly on the 5 to 15 minute chart, as the 1 minute for me has kind of just been noise lately. And you know, when I saw what I saw make me take this trade was that we came back up higher. We had this gap, came up, and I entered here for a retap into this IFVG. We tapped in. I thought price was gonna go higher. I was taking like a little 1 to 8 point trade, coming up, taking out the liquidity before having some encroachment on this gap. So I had pretty good confluence trade going on this going on that TP, and my buys going into that trade. So I'm not mad about it. Again, price was just stronger going lower, and I know it didn't sweep in or tap into this IVG, but on MES it did end up hitting that. I can't probably show you now, but on ES we did tap into this 4 hour gap, and on MNQ we haven't. So that's what was like, okay, so it tapped in on MES, so it might just bounce up higher. So once I saw my confluence to get in, I got in, but yeah, I ended up getting stopped out as I entered off this retap into this gap. I was up around like 400 ish, but came at getting stopped out, and we ended up coming back lower, actually tapping into this gap on Q this time. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just sit on the charge until I see my entry, and I ended up getting my entry as this 15-minute gap getting respected, coming back lower. I was like, okay, that might be my draw of liquidity going into this trade if I do end up getting in. So on the 5 minute, we did have this 5 minute gap as I answered before, because I did have really strong buying power, as we did end up making an SMT on ES, as you can see here. We ended up sweeping out these lows on ES, and on NQ we did not. So once I saw the reversal on NQ, I was like, okay, once I see like a little change in the state on the 1 minute, which is exactly what I saw here. You know, we had this last long candle lower, ended up joining on the 1 minute. I just ended up joining here. Damn, I would have got stopped out if I was looking for these highs. I'm glad, yeah, that's my problem going in. It's just waiting for price to actually hit my TP, not knowing there could be a confluence for price to come back lower. So I'm glad I actually got out when I needed to. But yeah, I mean, my entry was here, and I just had strong conviction off this SMT tapping into this IFVG. And you know, we ended up inversing this first gap. I was like, okay, you know, I needed to see the inverse on this 5 minute. On this 5 minute here, ended up inversing that after a couple of times. So I just stayed there, you know, I was just chilling, not even looking at the market here and there. But on the 15, we also had a gap as well. This gap here that we ended up inversing around 30 minutes into the trade. So I was like, okay, that's really strong bias. But again, this could be even stronger. So once we stayed here, I was like, okay, we're for sure bullish. We came up, waked up, took these highs. I was gonna go break even here. No, I was gonna take out some partials here and let my others run. I was like, nah, I've been on the charts for too long, so I'm gonna just take my full profit here. As you know, we had this 15 minute that we've been respecting, and we were gonna continue to respect it if price didn't end up, you know, closing above. So I'm glad I got out here. A little 1 of 5 trade. Not really the best RR, but overall great conviction going into this trade. You know, I got stopped out here, but I still had strong confidence we're going to come back up higher after tapping into this gap again. So I'm glad where I took the trade. I know it's very choppy price action, very choppy. So I'm overall glad that I ended up catching a win through this market. But yeah, I mean, that's a trade recap. You know, just recognizing and seeing if your bias was still right. I wasn't gonna get in if I saw there was no strong confluences after, you know, disrespecting these gaps down here. But as we didn't, I was like, okay, I might look for longs again. And the problem I've been having is taking partials or knowing when to get out when in the money. And I'm glad I got out here because, man, look, straight reversal as exactly where I got out. A straight reversal. You know, I got out after taking these highs into this 15-minute gap here. So, you know, as soon as we caught here, straight inversion and just straight up dropped. And so I took an L for like 800 and I took a dub for like 1400. So, you know, I'm in profit around 600, 500 to 600 right here. So I'm off for the charts for today, unless you catch another reversal. No, I'm just playing. I did kind of go over my rules, as my risk was no more than 1,000. I did lose 800, so I was like, you know, that's close to 1,000. But once I saw strong conviction on, you know, these entry models, we had an SMT, we tapped back into this IVG, and yeah, I mean, I just took a strong entry and a strong bias that we were gonna come up higher. But I'm glad I got out where I needed to, and you know, look, we might do the same here. Tap back in, inverse some of these gaps, and just straight skyrocket. As I might just take a look at these charts here, but I'm probably 90% sure I'm not getting in anymore. But yeah, you know, I hope you guys have a great, amazing day, and hopefully we'll pass this eval soon, as it will be my first ever eval passing. You know, I've been sticking to my rules this month, or you know, these late month and a half, I haven't really seen the best results. But I'm just glad I'm able to notice things on the market and be able to take conviction and take action and execute when I need to. So, you know, I'm beyond blessed that I'm getting better each and every day, and I'm recognizing that, and I'm just following my rules. So yeah, I hope everybody has a blessed, amazing day. God bless everybody. Yeah.